Okay, today's video we're going to talk about blended ROAS. First of all, what this is and why Google, Facebook, and Microsoft ads actually work together in conjunction with one another to bring your blended ROAS or ROAS up on the campaigns and ad spend that you have to spend to invest in getting new customers for your business or clients for your business online. So the key thing that I'm going to be covering here today is you shouldn't be thinking about any one thing that you necessarily do to advertise your business online operating in a vacuum. What you're trying to do if you want to really crush it online for your business is to set up sales funnels. And what you start out doing is obviously you go after the low-hanging fruit in your space. People that are almost ready to buy, or if you have customers, going after them, try to sell them something else. But once you've done that, you go up the stack. You go after people that are almost ready to buy and do what you can to get them. And then you go up a little further, and if you get really good, you go after people who are not even looking for your product, but are good candidates for your product or service, and you go after them. Whether that be with content, whether that be just shoving it in front of their face and saying to them, hey, you have an issue, this product or service fixes this issue, so you should buy it. There are multiple ways to do that, of course, which I'm not going to go into all the details on that in this video. What I am going to explain, though, is Facebook ads. When you run Facebook ads, that should have some piece in your overall strategy. What you're doing to scale your advertising budget for your company. That Facebook budget will do more for your Google budget than you think, and vice versa. You should run ads on both platforms for almost every single business. If you want to just say virtually all businesses out there, you can do that. And the reason for that is because there's going to be opportunities on each that are going to make you money. More importantly, they actually support each other. Stuff that happens on Google, later on, that person's on Facebook later on, they're going to get a sale that if they didn't see you on Google, they wouldn't have ever bought from you. Same thing with Facebook. If they saw you on Facebook later on, they're on Google, they aren't going to buy at the same rate if they didn't see your ad on Facebook. And so your goal is to take as much from each platform as you can, but more importantly, understanding that if you do both, you'll actually, and it's not 1 + 1 = 2, it's 1 + 1 = 3 or 5, if you will. I'm going to explain the dynamics of that on today's video, but when we talk about ROAS, okay, return on an account spend, there's multiple ways to calculate ROAS depending on the subtype or variety of what you're talking about. There's true ROAS, which actually says what your return on your ads is. That is inside your ad account. It says what your ROAS is there, which takes the trackable sales inside that ad account and divides it by your ad spend. That's true ROAS, okay? Now, more importantly, if you're going to make the money and act like the big boys do online, make millions of dollars of what you're doing, you got to, especially in e-commerce, but for everything truly, you got to be thinking about this blended ROAS number, which instead of that, I just talked about what true ROAS is. Blended ROAS here now is total sales divided by total ad spend in your business, okay? And why? Because different ad platforms you're advertising on support each other, like I said, which a lot of people call that omni-channel marketing. If a consumer has seen you on more than one platform, they're more likely to buy, and it's not 1 + 1 = 2, but 1 + 1 = 3, like I talked about before. And even though you may say, well, Google only is the one that has a great ROI and Facebook doesn't, but really your ROI is only as good as it is on Google because you got the Facebook ads running, or wouldn't be as good. Not only that, but when you're trying to rely on this ROI number that shows in your ad account, no matter how good your tracking is set up, it's only going to track so much of your revenue. So what you should do instead, if you want to be able to get in a position where you can make millions of dollars a year running ads for your business, you want to be able to divide your total sales by your total ad spend, because there's lots of different reasons why that ROAS number in your ad account is understating what your true effect of your ads are and your ad budget is on your sales. Okay? Now the reasons why target ROAS or the ROAS in your account that it shows in your Facebook account, in your Google account, in your Microsoft Ads account isn't really nowhere near what your true effect on your sales and what your true ROI is from your ad spend. I'm going to go into that list here, one of which right off the top is cookies. There's lots of all this tracking. If somebody doesn't come to your site and buy right away and they have to come back, the tracking's all done based upon cookies. Well, there's lots of reasons why a cookie can fall off on a user. They could be on iOS. They could be using Brave browser. They could delete the cookies on their computer, the cookies on their browser. There's a lot of different reasons why cookies fail. Okay, it's better than nothing. It may pick up half your sales, but it will never pick them all up. Never. Second of all, the reason why true ROAS is really just a secondary indicator used for steering your ads, not to see what your true investment is. And more importantly, whether or not you should start raising your budget up to the next level to get into the next level of scaling. People switch devices. If they start out on one device, they're at work looking for a solution or find your solution on Facebook or whatnot, and then they say, when I get paid, I'll buy, and they're going to buy from home, that ROAS is not going to show you that person, that's not going to be factored into your ROAS. It would if they're still signed into the same account, so that isn't completely true. But in many cases, they're not going to be signed into the same account or whatnot, and the data is going to get broken. So, thirdly, lifetime value of a customer is not factored into ROAS. I mean, it could be if you set up some tracking in Google Analytics to track lifetime value of a customer and divided that by ad spend. We do that sometimes. But as a whole, if your business relies on repeat business at all, you got to be looking at what the total sales revenue you've had in your company in the last 5 years, divide that by the total number of unique customers in the last 5 years that you've had, and get your average revenue per customer and use that as your understanding of what you can pay to get a customer. And when you get a customer through Facebook or Google or whatnot, you actually multiply that by what the assumed lifetime value of a customer is. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to justify spending more for a customer that it really takes to be able to get a customer in your market ultimately, because it's all, you're trying to outcompete your competition and with their ads to get that customer. If they're willing to pay more for a customer than you are, they're going to outbid you, they're going to get the customer. So ultimately, if they're valuing a customer at higher value than you are to justify what they're doing and you're not, they get the customer and you don't, frankly. So the ROAS doesn't value in the lifetime value of that customer. And at the end of the day, between just the three things I mentioned already, you may see a ROAS of 100. Even though you know to be profitable in your business, you at least need to be at a 600% ROAS. 100 really means 600 because of the things I said. Then you got sales cycle windows. The more expensive of whatever you have that you're selling is, the longer the time it's going to take from the time that the person does initial research and the time that they buy, or they initially discover your product or service and the time that they buy. We've had it in the roofing space before. I had arguments with clients before about how they say they shouldn't advertise in December for roofing business in an area where it snows. You can't install a roof in the winter. But I'd say, okay, yes, the best ROAS you're going to get is in March because people are ready to buy right away in March. But half of the market is doing the research before March. While it's snowing, while there's nothing else nothing to do, they're stuck in their house. If you wait till March to advertise your market, you're going to have half the customers you could possibly get, because when March hits for the other half of the market, they've already done their research and already know who they're going to go with. So you have to get with them earlier, not at all. And with that, people are going to click to your website, look like they're not buyers, when really they are buyers. They just weren't buyers at the time they were initially doing the research. And if you're selling something that's super expensive, 4 figures, 5 figures, it's just so much of your business is not going to come when people initially start doing their research and initially click on your ads, you can't even look at target ROAS at all to be able to determine what the profitability of your campaigns are. Because the longer the time it takes for somebody to buy, the more of the tracking is going to be broken, if you will. You're not going to be able to connect the dots. Because the cookie window length is only so long on these platforms, for one, it only tracks for so many days, but also because cookies don't work and all the other things I mentioned and why conversion data gets lost. Then you, of course, got the organic effect. How many customers that you get will refer somebody? That adds in hidden ROAS value that you wouldn't have normally considered. More important than that, though, is the effect on your organic rankings. I don't care what you guys that disagree with me say, you are going to make a good chunk of money from running your ads when you're dumping $1 million worth of ad spend at your business a year on just the organic rankings you're going to get. I don't care if you don't do a fucking thing to organically optimize your website for SEO rankings. You dump 1 million visits a year to your website through paid ads, you're going to fucking rank that website every time. Maybe not quite as good if you did some organic SEO practices in conjunction with it, but you're going to get organic rankings because part of the algorithm, and this really pisses SEO people off because it stomps on their hustle. You get people that are coming to your website, bookmarking the site, remembering your brand name, going back to Google later to type in your brand name, and then clicking your website. These are strong signals to Google as to you being an actual brand. What they actually want to rank. They don't want to rank a website that it's just some freeloading asshole that just wants to get organic traffic to their website. Why wouldn't Google send traffic to the person who's their best customer? But even if it was just Facebook traffic, they would want to send the traffic to the person who's the brand, because the brand's the least likely to rip that customer off and give people a bad taste in their mouth and not want to click on anything on Google in the future or trust anybody on Google in the future. So literally speaking, when we're talking about Google ads and you're spending over 10 grand a month especially, half of the profitability of your ads is coming down to the free organic traffic you're going to get that you wouldn't have got if you didn't spend that ad money, because the margins on the sales you're going to get from organic is 3 times what you're going to get from the ads. So even though it's, if you get 1 million visits to your site a year from your paid ads and you only get 200,000 from organic in addition, that, ultimately, because those sales come at no marketing cost, no additional marketing cost, it subsidizes the hell out of your ad traffic. So that isn't the organic traffic bump you get, which SEO people are going to really, one of these days I'm going to meet some guy on the street and they're going to have a fist fight with me about this. That doesn't factor into what your true ROAS number is, which that's a misnomer because true ROAS really factors in all these other things. So anyway, with all that said, okay, blended ROAS takes all your ad spend you're spending on all the platforms and divide that by your sales, and you get your true ROI from all your ad platforms together, and that accounts for all of this, and it accounts for one platform and the traffic you buy through one platform supporting the other, like I was talking about earlier. What you can do is ultimately you can find out what this ratio or this blended ROAS number needs to be for you to be profitable, whether that be 500%, 600%, 700%. Once you know that number, it's easy. What can we do to run ads so that when we raise our budget 20% this month, do we have to get the total sales up to where we could raise the budget 20% again and do it over and over and over again? And then when you do each increase, you just simply find the platform where the money is best dispersed at, and then you just walk your sales up of your company and your profits to go along with it, one step at a time. And over a 5-10 year period, you build up yourself a nice $5-10 million a year business. We've done that so many times at our agency. Everybody wants one ad where they're just going to get fucking rich off that one ad. It doesn't work like that. It's building it up 10-20% a month in terms of the sales growth and stacking those gains consistently every month like that, and doing it over 5 years to get to the big end result, unless you're starting with millions to dump into it. So, but with that said, You want to advertise on as many platforms as you can because, like I said, if somebody sees you on one platform, they see it on another, they're more likely to respond having seen you on another platform before once they saw you on that platform. So what you're going to have a lot of times, UGC content is the best ads that you could run on Facebook nowadays. User-generated content. You make an ad that just looks like somebody's sharing some random thing on Facebook. And like a customer testimonial. They see, customer that you're advertising to sees that on Facebook. It plants a seed in that user's subconscious mind about that product working. They're not ready to buy it yet. They're not even really in market for it yet, or they're not ready mentally for it yet. Then, some point in the future, they are ready to buy, and because you planted that seed, they thought about buying that product. They don't even remember the ad that you showed them before, but that seed was planted. Then they go to Google to start their research on who to buy from. Because they saw you before, they're 2-3 times as likely to click on your ad on Google because there's brand recognition there now. And then now that gets your Google campaign to work 5-10 times as good as it would have otherwise for the people who saw you on Facebook already, because there's brand familiarity. It's just like going into the grocery store and buying either Oreo cookies or generics. There's a reason why you pay more for Oreo, because you know the name. Well, you're going to be more likely to click on a Google search ad if you've heard the name before. So that's one scenario of many where advertising on multiple platforms makes you more money than if advertising on one, and how the different platforms actually support each other. Going the other way, if somebody finds you on Google search, you're advertising there, going back to the sales cycle window, it takes time for people to decide whether they're going to buy or not. While that user decides, they got to your site, they've studied your site, it was a good site. You think that person wasn't worth anything. It was, you planted the seed. Then later on they're on Facebook and they see your ad there, and now they're ready to buy because they saw it before. They saw what you had before. It looked good. They weren't totally sold on how trustworthy your solution is. Then they saw the testimonial ad that you had on Facebook. Now they're ready to buy because they saw it. Because if you think about this, the more you understand about user psychology, the better of an advertiser you will be. Back in the day, the way that people understood that, how to separate out the false from the real is they heard the message on whatever it was more than once. They heard more than one person talking about it. The more people they heard talking about something, the more likely they could ultimately deduct that it was real, or that it's that it's accurate, it's real, whatever. So what you're doing when you advertise in more than one platform and you make the ads especially look like an organic ad, even though it's a paid ad, you can make a testimonial ad on Facebook look like it's an organic post, unless you really, really are paying attention, know what to look for. They think because they saw it in that second place, whatever you had to offer is real because they now heard it a second time. And that actually multiplies each other time they see it. I love having 2, 3, 4, 5 user-generated content ads like that of different people using it for using that product for different use cases or different things. And each time it compounds the trust of our solution. And if it didn't get them the second time, maybe it'll get them the third, maybe it'll get them the fourth, maybe it'll get them the fifth. But I'm going to eventually get you, because if you've heard it enough, there's no reason, assuming that you are gettable, there's no way that you're going to not think that my solution works. Most sales don't even ever occur on the first visit to your website. It occurs, and the more times you get them back to the site, the more likely they are to buy. The more ads that they've seen, the more likely they are to buy. So what people will do, though, is they don't think remarketing ads work. I get also in arguments with people all the time about how they think all their ad money should be spent to go after people go after as many people as you can, and don't remarket to any of them. Because if they didn't buy the first time, basically F them. And that's just the most dumb thing. I can't blame people for not knowing until they see it for themselves, I guess. But you're throwing half of your advertising money away if you don't follow anybody up. Okay, basically bottom line. It costs so little money to follow somebody up with another ad, a fraction of a penny, that when you spent, $1, $10, whatever to get them to your site in the first place, and you don't spend a fraction of a penny to follow them up with a video testimonial ad, you're throwing half your ad money away. That's why. So basically, what happens is they'll run that ad on Facebook to the person. I'll set it up, an ad for them on Facebook for someone to see that ad, that video testimonial ad, after somebody's been to the site already. And because they didn't see the ad and immediately click through and buy, oh, that ad doesn't work. Oh, we need to spend that money going after more people and more. And I try to explain, okay, you don't believe me that this is actually going to get you more sales going after fewer people more times than more people only once. Go ahead and shut those ads off and see for yourself what happens to your gross sales when you shut those remarketing ads completely off. And I've gotten to the point now where I don't do that either, because I don't want to go backwards just to prove these lessons to their business. We shut off ads for half the country, half the state, half the city, whatnot. And you can then obviously then see, because that's a better test. What's the sales doing in one half of the city versus the other with no remarketing and heavy remarketing? And yes, remarketing doesn't work when you do it the shitbag way and you beat people over the head over and over and over again asking them to buy, which is better than nothing. I will grant you that. It will get you more sales still from the same overall ad spend you have to invest in your company, but only a little bit more. If you actually think about all the different reasons why somebody doesn't buy, they don't trust you, they don't think it will work for them, they think it might not last that long for them, and you piece that together into a whole series of ads that'll then sprinkle out for the user over the next 90 days after they're in market for what you sell. And given, by the way, when there's only so many people in market for what you sell on a regular basis, not going after those people more, and then instead trying to reach out for people that are only like lukewarm prospects, it doesn't make any sense. So you follow them up in every which way, and that actually helps the user. They're really appreciative that they found that information. You know what kind of information everybody wants that nobody wants to put together? A cross comparison between all the, like if you sell a chess set, buy every high-end chess set that there is and do a durability test between them all. So when you know somebody's interested in your chess set, they didn't buy yours, or until they buy, show them the video ad showing why yours is more durable than anything else. Assuming that durability is a major factor, which that's a poor example really, but people don't do that because they're effing lazy. They don't want to put no product comparison video like that together. They should just buy. And if I'm in your market or in your niche, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna just dominate, because all the consumers want that. And who are you gonna trust at that point in time when you saw a cross comparison where I've technically analyzed my product versus all the others, and then slap a warranty on top of it? So you've just made it so easy for me to decide. There's no reason why you shouldn't understand why this doesn't increase your blended ROAS when you add that as a part of your overall sequence. And so going back full circle on this, what you're really doing online for yourself is setting up a funnel. You're doing everything you can to find people who are in market, get them to your site, and then remarket the hell out of them in a very intelligent way, so that every single ad they see, they're actually very impressed and thankful, for that matter, that you showed them that extra information about comparing the products in the market, what they don't want you to know about buying XYZ, all the information they wish they had but don't have. That's the magic formula to make millions online. If you want to really bottle it into one thing, that's it, if you will. And then when people aren't in market anymore, and you've picked all the low-hanging fruit, you come up with, and you get in front of people who you know have a problem you can fix with your product or service, and you get in front of them with content, how to fix XYZ problem, and you get them to download it, and then you get them into the funnel. That's the formula. If you want a simple way to make millions online, that's the way to do it. So with that said, true ROAS only makes, going back to this, the one ROAS that you see inside your ad account only makes first click traffic look like it's worth it, which then fools you into settling for half of the profit you can make or less, Because if your ROI is not high enough, obviously you can't do anything. So you might just be asked out of luck on the whole thing. And especially brand traffic. Some people, they end up only having brand traffic ads going on because they can't even get, or ads that run to their customer base only, because they can't get a true ROAS of 1,000% because they think that's what they need. And they don't understand all this other shit goes on. So really, a 500% ROAS means 1,000, or 300% means 1,000 or whatnot. It differs based upon niche. And they didn't understand that you got to set up ads where they see you everywhere. Because people psychologically think they saw you everywhere. It must be true. It must be accurate. And you got to set up a decent funnel for them to go through where they're getting more and more educated about your solution until they just finally buy one day. And it isn't one ad that gets them to buy. It's the cumulative effect of seeing 10 different ads that gets them to buy, which is the reason why the true ROAS on remarketing isn't great. It took the 10 ads to get them to buy, if you will. And when they buy, by the way, the reason why the true ROAS is low on remarketing, because when they buy, guess what? They don't just click through the customer testimonial ad and buy. They're half hungover from the last night of drinking, and they're on Facebook, and they're not ready to pull out the damn wallet and buy right then. They're going to buy on Friday when they get paid, and they're going to type your website your brand name into Google when they got their paycheck and their bank account's filled, and they're going to go buy that way, and it's not going to make the remarketing look like it worked. Most people that see remarketing ads, they're definitely not going to go to your website. Maybe they'll click on the video and watch it. They're not going to go to your website. And actually with that, your goal should be to make the remarketing ad so good that if they actually only see the ad, it already had done its job. Number one, as rated by XYZ reviewer, or 30-year warranty, blah, blah, blah. They don't need to click through that. Now, you want, obviously people to click through that ad. And if they clicked on an ad that said 30-year warranty, you take them to a page that says everything about that 30-year warranty if you really want to get the most money out of your market. Most people aren't going to click on it, though. And because they don't click on it, and as a result of that, you're not going to, and the people who buy aren't going to click through it and buy that way. If you're like most hard-headed people, you're going to say remarketing doesn't work and just not do it. And I'm going to be in your market doing it, and I'm going to get most of the customers because the consumer wants to see those remarketing ads, whether you like it, whether you see a true ROAS number that's high on that ad or not. So with that, if you have any questions about anything I covered here, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a question or comment on this channel, usually within 24 hours time. Beyond that, excuse me, if you haven't subscribed to this channel already, you darn well should, as the information on this channel is coming from somebody who spends 40 hours a week doing ad testing and just strategy on different ad accounts and manages millions of dollars worth of ad spend to give you the information about what works and what doesn't work out there in today's environment on Google, Facebook, and all the other ad platforms. You want to know what really works to make you millions of dollars running ads for your business. This is the channel you darn well want to be subscribed to for that. Beyond that, if you like the channel, you're going to like my blog as well. You should check that out as well. You can find my blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog. The blog has actual strategies we use to guarantee our clients' results, with step-by-step instructions to follow them, with screenshots, with everything you need to use those strategies for yourself. If you like the channel, you're definitely going to like the information I presented on the blog. It's actually even better. Beyond that, if you want somebody that'll just do the grunt work, if you will, of getting you results using these strategies, this is exactly what we do at our firm for people. It's a lot of work to get good results online still at the end of the day, but we know how to do it. And we're not too lazy. We're ambitious enough to actually do it for you the right way. Not only that, but we're willing to put our money where our mouth is. If you do not get a profit from what we're doing, we do not charge you a management fee. We're the only agency out there that has any balls to offer you that, or any guarantee for that matter. So if you want that, you can definitely reach out to me. The catch is I got to review your stuff and make sure that I can get you good results to offer that service to you. But if you want to see if we can work together potentially, you can easily reach out to me at my firm at guaranteedppc.com. I'll give you a free assessment and see what the possibilities are, how much sales results we can get for you, and so forth. As a final note, if you're not looking to have anybody manage your ads, you hate ad agencies, whatever, totally fine. If we worked in your niche market though before, you do yourself a huge effing favor to just take the template that we've developed for your niche market already. The ads, campaigns, landing pages, copy paste all that into your ad account and get the same results we're getting without having to spend the years of testing and aggravation to go through to figure out how to get those results in your niche market already. As long as you're in a different geographic area than our current or past client, it's all fair game to use it there. We sell those templates for a one-time fee, and we can tell you the results we're getting with it, you would get with it up front without and before having to pay for it. So you should at the very least find out if we've worked in your niche market before, and if so, we'll tell you what results we were getting, and you can obviously see if that's better than what you're getting, because you can get those same results for yourself right away just by using the template. We've got people using these templates, by the way, to just get into other business. The easiest way to make money online is to use a winning ad template to sell a known item that's already selling. Or if you want to sell leads, that's the easiest business to get into. Just start generating leads and marking the leads up and selling them. We got several people doing that already with our templates. Interested in any of those other opportunities, you can also reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. With that said, I'll wrap everything up with that. Thank you very much for watching.